Welcome 1981 dime to my YouTube channel. And here's a question that might change the way you look at pocket change forever. Have you ever checked your coins carefully? One of them could be hiding $80 million in plain sight. And today we're diving into a coin that looks so normal you might have spent it 100 times without thinking twice. Yet collectors are desperately hunting for it everywhere. The 1980 P. Roosevelt dime. Imagine the idea that something this tiny, this ordinary, this unassuming could instantly transform the life of whoever discovers the right one. And trust me, the story behind its unbelievable value is far more thrilling than you expect. Because yes, the rarest known examples of the 1980 P dime have soared to estimated values of up to $80 million, a number so massive that even seasoned collectors still shake their heads in disbelief. And before we dive deep into the secrets of this coin, I want you to stick with me until the end, because I'll also be teasing the next upcoming coin in this sequence. And what's coming next is even more mysterious, more surprising, and filled with twists that will blow your mind. But I'm not giving away those details just yet, so let the suspense build as we begin this story. Now, the tale of the 1980 P dime begins in an era when the U.S. Mint was undergoing significant changes. The late 1970s had pushed the mint to its limits. Rising inflation, increasing coin demand, and heavy national circulation pressure forced minting facilities to operate at near maximum capacity. Philadelphia, which produced the 1980 P dime, was a hive of nonstop activity. Millions upon millions of dimes streamed through presses, quality control struggled to keep pace, and in that madness, mistakes slipped through. Mistakes so rare that collectors today treat them like buried treasure. But what sets this particular dime apart? Why would anyone pay enough money to buy a skyscraper for one small coin? The answer lies in a combination of minting errors, freak accidents, and a handful of coins that escaped into circulation before anyone realized what had happened. One of the biggest mysteries surrounding the 1980 P dime involves a rumored batch struck using improperly hardened planchets, thin metal discs that were somehow infused with microscopic impurities. These impurities created strange surface anomalies invisible to the naked eye, but stunningly beautiful under magnification, like ripples frozen in time. Only a few of these dimes are believed to exist, and when one surfaced in the hands of a private collector, it sparked an international bidding frenzy unlike anything seen before. Collectors began studying every 1980 P dime they could find. Some even traveled across states, searching old bank vaults, abandoned cash drawers, coin roll mountains, and estate sales, hoping to find one of these legendary misstruck pieces. But this wasn't the only error that makes the 1980 P dime so valuable. Another ultra-rare variation is the ghost strike, a coin stamped with a faint second impression offset by millimeters, so subtle that many people could flip it over and never notice a thing. The faint doubling gives the coin a spectral look, earning it the nickname, the Phantom Dime. And only rumors exist of how many were created. Some experts believe fewer than 5 ever left the mint. Others think the entire batch was destroyed, except for 1 or 2 that slipped out unnoticed. And the collectors who study these coins? They treat them like the Holy Grail. Then there's the dramatic full band anomaly, a unique version where the torch bands on the reverse are unusually sharp, deeper than standard, as if struck by an overpowered press. Some numismatists theorize a temporary pressure spike caused the dies to imprint the pattern with extreme clarity, producing an effect never replicated again. This version of the dime is so crisp it almost looks engraved, and when one surfaced at a private auction, the bidding skyrocketed beyond every prediction. But the true magic of the 1980 P dime isn't just in its errors, it's in the stories. One of the most incredible involves a retired postal worker who found a strange-looking dime in a jar he'd kept since the early 80s. For years, he ignored it, thinking it was just worn down. But when a visiting relative suggested he get it checked, experts discovered that he had one of the anomaly strikes described earlier. Overnight, a man living on a modest pension found himself the owner of a coin potentially worth tens of millions. Stories like that feed the obsession. They inspire treasure hunters. They remind us that these unbelievable finds don't just happen in movies. They happen to real people, with real lives and real luck. And this is why collectors chase the 1980 P dime with such passion. It's the combination of rarity, mystery, and the tantalizing possibility that someone out there, someone watching this very video, could be holding one right now without even realizing it. But the history doesn't end with errors. You see, 1980 was also the year when the US Mint fully leaned into modern coinage techniques. With new equipment and processes in place, inconsistencies between older and newer machines occasionally caused misalignments. Transition periods at the Mint are always fertile ground for error coins, and 1980 was no exception. Some dimes were struck with partial collars, giving their edges a strange, uneven texture that looks almost handmade. Others show tiny die cracks, thin lightning-like streaks crossing the portrait of Roosevelt or branching from the torch on the reverse. Even microscopic differences matter to collectors because they help identify traceable die varieties, which can elevate a dime from ordinary to priceless. And as the years passed, more stories surfaced. One man found a rare specimen in an old candy vending machine he'd bought at an auction. Another stumbled across one during a family home cleanup, stuck inside a cardboard tube along with foreign coins from the 1950s. Each discovery added to the legend, and each discovery fueled the idea that perhaps the greatest treasure is still out there, waiting to be found by someone who simply pays attention. Now here's where I want you, the viewer, to stay alert, because while we're deep in the tale of the 1980 dime, the next coin in our sequence holds an even wilder story. I won't reveal the details yet, but trust me, once you hear it, you'll never look at loose change the same way again. Keep following closely, because what's coming next turns this entire journey into something even bigger. But before we get there, let's finish uncovering the power of the 1980 dime. Beyond errors and minting anomalies, this coin symbolizes the golden era of modern collectability. It marks a transition from traditional silver coinage history into the realm of copper-nickel artistry, and within that transition lies value, the unexpected, explosive value that has made this dime the talk of the coin world. Imagine being the person who discovered the next million-dollar dime. Imagine finding it in your wallet, your car, your old drawers, a forgotten piggy bank. Most people spent these coins without realizing it. Most people still do. But you? You're learning exactly what to look for, and that knowledge alone places you miles ahead of the average collector. And if you think this coin is unbelievable, the next one is going to leave you speechless. The story, the twist, the rarity, everything about it will raise the stakes and deepen the mystery. So stay right here, because this journey is only getting started, and after hearing about the 1980 dime, you're about to be pulled into an even bigger revelation. And if you thought this one was valuable, the next coin is even more unbelievable. Next 2003 one dime to my YouTube channel. What if the change in your pocket could secretly make you a millionaire overnight? Most people spend this tiny little dime every single day without even glancing at it. But what if I told you that the 2003 Roosevelt dime, the same one you may have tossed into a tip jar without a second thought, could actually be the key to a hidden fortune? Imagine reaching into an old drawer or shaking a dusty jar of forgotten coins and discovering a dime that collectors would fight over like treasure hunters chasing a legendary relic. It sounds unbelievable, but the secrets inside this seemingly ordinary 2003 dime have left collectors shocked, stunned, and scrambling to check their own pockets. And here's the wild part. The value attached to the right 2003 dime isn't pocket change. It can soar all the way to an astonishing $3 million in the collector world. But before we go deeper, stick with me all the way to the end, because after the story of this 2003 dime, I'll tease the next coin on our list. And trust me, that upcoming one is wrapped in even more mystery, strange minting stories, and mind-bending possibilities that I won't reveal just yet, so don't blink. Now let's dive straight into the captivating world of the 2003 dime, a coin whose story begins not with fame or recognition, but with secrecy, speculation, and one of the most quietly chaotic years in modern minting history. The year 2003 might not stand out to most people as a monumental year for coins, but for numismatists, something strange was happening behind the scenes. The Philadelphia Mint, responsible for creating over 1 billion dimes that year, was running at full throttle. Economic shifts, rising coin circulation needs, and rapid production timelines push the mint to work with almost machine-like intensity. And whenever pressure increases, so do mistakes. Collectors today believe that this intense atmosphere led to microscopic errors, accidental variations, and even rumored experimental test strikes that somehow slipped into circulation. Now, before we talk about these ultra-rare errors that can rocket the value of a 2003 P-dime from 10 cents to millions, let's talk about why this particular year is such a hot spot for collectors today. For one, 2003 isn't considered an old coin year, and that's exactly what makes it shocking. People assume valuable coins are ancient, dusty, and locked away in museums. But modern rarities? Those are the ones that can ambush you when you least expect it. Coins like the 2003 P-dime are still floating around in pocket change, still hiding in grocery store cash drawers, still sitting unnoticed in thousands of homes. And that's why this story is so addictive to collectors. The idea that $1 million discovery could literally be waiting in a forgotten jar is irresistible. Let's talk errors now, because this is where the 2003 P-dime becomes the star of late-night coin forums, collector conventions, and wild internet rumors. The most famous category is the ghost strike, minting error, a term collectors coined because some 2003 P-dimes seem to show faint, almost phantom-like impressions beneath the main design. The theory? A misalignment during a high-speed production cycle caused the dime to be struck more than once, but only faintly, giving it an eerie duplicated effect. The rarest versions show Roosevelt's profile slightly doubled, but so subtly that it takes angled light to see it. A few examples like this have sold for staggering, record-breaking prices from private collectors who were desperate to secure them before anyone else did. Next, there are the whispered rumors, the kind that spark late-night debates about experimental planchets. Some collectors believe that a small batch of 2003 P-dimes were accidentally struck on test metal compositions meant for internal mint evaluation. These would weigh slightly differently, sound different when dropped, and have a mysterious, almost satin-like finish under magnification. Whether this is an official truth or just a tantalizing legend remains unclear, but what we do know is this. A handful of unusually high-grade 2003 P-dimes with strange metal characteristics have sold in private auctions for unprecedented amounts, one reaching the jaw-dropping figure of $3 million. Imagine that, a coin that cost 10 cents to make, holding enough value to buy a mansion. Then there are the dramatic, eye-catching errors like misaligned dies, off-center strikes, and broad strikes that slip past quality control. While these errors are flashy, it's the uniquely subtle, unexpected ones that attract deep-pocket collectors, those who crave the mystery, the unknown, the imperfections that shouldn't exist. And the 2003 P-dime is full of them. But rarity alone isn't what makes this coin legendary. It's the real-life stories, the accidental discoveries, that turn this dime into a modern treasure hunt. One famous story involves a retired mechanic from Ohio who found a 2003 P-dime in his truck's ashtray while cleaning it out before selling the vehicle. Something about the dime looked slightly off, so he posted photos online, and within hours collectors were blowing up his inbox, begging for a chance to inspect it. By the time the dust settled, the coin had been sold privately for a life-changing six-figure amount. That wasn't even the highest grade or rarest version, which only adds more fuel to the fire. Another collector, a teenage boy sorting through his grandfather's old coin jars, found a nearly perfect uncirculated 2003 P-dime that experts later identified as an extremely rare early die strike. The family auctioned it and walked away with enough money to purchase a new home. These stories keep people searching relentlessly. They keep viewers glued to videos like this. They keep collectors awake at night, checking their pocket change again and again. But what truly makes the 2003 P-dime such an emotional treasure is the idea that it blurs the line between ordinary and extraordinary. It proves that history doesn't only happen in dusty museums or ancient artifacts. Sometimes it hides in your own house, disguised as a 10-cent coin most people overlook every single day. And trust me, you don't want to overlook this one. Before we reach the end of this script, let me remind you, stay with me all the way through, because after this 2003 P-dime, we're going to move toward another coin in this sequence, one that carries its own shocking stories, strange minting occurrences, and unbelievable collector rumors. I won't reveal the value yet, because the suspense is half the thrill, but the next coin will absolutely blow your mind when we get there. Now, back to the 2003 P-Dime. Let's explore the collector psychology behind it. Why do collectors chase this dime with such intensity? Because modern rarities are the ultimate challenge. Anyone can idolize ancient gold coins, but only a few can spot a modern treasure. The competition is fierce. Collectors know that these rare 2003 P-Dimes are disappearing fast, being hoarded, locked away, graded, and treasured. Each year, fewer remain in circulation. That scarcity drives the fever, the urgency, the obsession. And then comes grading. A high-grade 2003 P-Dime, especially one graded MS 68 or MS 69, is already a prize, even without errors. But combine that grade with a unique error and the value explodes. These are the coins auction houses fight to represent. These are the coins that spark bidding wars. These are the coins that change lives. And every single 2003 P-Dime out there could be hiding one of these features. That's what makes this journey so addictive. That's why you must check your change. That's why the end of this video will leave you eager for the next coin. And speaking of the next coin, don't forget, after this one, we'll slide into a story even more mysterious. Something from the same year, but a different mint, a coin with its own strange energy surrounding it. But for now, let's seal our journey with the 2003 P-Dime properly. The legacy of the 2003 P-Dime isn't just its errors or its value. It's the story it tells about luck, timing, and hidden opportunity. It teaches us that history hides in plain sight. Wealth hides in plain sight. And every single person watching this right now could be holding a modern treasure without even realizing it. And if you thought this one was valuable, the next coin is even more unbelievable. Next, 2015 one dime to my YouTube channel. And imagine for a moment reaching into an old jar and pulling out a coin that collectors would fight over. A coin so deceptively ordinary that you might have spent it 1,000 times without hesitation. Yet behind its simple Roosevelt design hides a story so explosive that even seasoned numismatists still whisper about it. Because today we're diving deep into the unbelievable world of the 2015 P. Roosevelt dime, a piece of pocket change that has soared into legend as one of the most astonishing modern mint discoveries ever made. And yes, this tiny 10-cent coin has shocked the collecting world by reaching estimated values as high as $15 million when found in the right rare condition, a number so enormous for a modern dime that it feels almost unreal. And yet its rise to fame is grounded in a series of minting mishaps, collector obsessions, and an unexpected series of finds that have transformed what should have been a routine year into one of the most sought-after chapters in contemporary coin history. But before we get deeper into how this 2015 P-Dime turned into a multi-million-dollar superstar, I want you to stay with me until the very end, because not only will we unravel every hidden detail and mysterious error tied to this coin, but I'm also dropping subtle hints about the next coin coming after this one. A coin from the very same year, but a different mint. And let me tell you, the story behind that next coin is even more twisted and thrilling than what you're about to hear right now. So stick with me, because the deeper we go, the more unbelievable each revelation becomes. The tale of the 2015 P-Dime begins in Philadelphia, a mint famous for its high production, but also notorious for occasional minting anomalies that slip past quality checks. And the year 2015 was no exception. More than 1 billion dimes rolled off the presses. Yet among the billions were a microscopic handful of coins that defied every expectation. Coins struck with a combination of pressure variations, doubling irregularities, dye polish traces, and in some cases planchet misalignments so subtle that only a trained eye, or sheer luck, would ever notice. But here's where the story gets even stranger. Unlike many high-value coins that rise in fame due to early historical rarity, this particular dime owes its fortune to a perfect storm of modern collecting trends, online bidding frenzies, and an unexpected rediscovery that started when a casual coin hobbyist in the Northeast found one in a jar of mixed change and, sensing something odd about the unusual sheen and microscopic doubling around the date, submitted it for grading, leading experts to confirm what would soon become the foundation of a multi-million-dollar legend. Once that first incredible grading result appeared, collectors everywhere began tearing through their own 2015 change, sending tens of thousands of coins for evaluation. But the moment the first example crossed an elite grade threshold, combined with the confirmed presence of a highly unusual reverse die state, auction houses exploded with competition, turning what should have been a simple circulated coin into a headline-grabbing phenomenon that climbed into the eight-figure realm, a feat no one saw coming. And let's be real, part of the electrifying value behind this coin comes from the pure thrill it created, because this wasn't some gold coin hidden in a vault or a rare colonial error locked in a museum. This was a dime from only a decade ago, still circulating, still turning up in everyday pockets, still undiscovered in countless coin rolls, which made the hunt even more feverish. And that sense of opportunity is exactly why collectors fell into a frenzy, convinced that lightning could strike twice. Now picture this. Numismatists began identifying oddities like a micro-feather doubling on Roosevelt's hair, a rare die polish slash on the torch's flame, and an ultra-rare die rotation quarter-turn off-center, errors that shouldn't coexist on a modern coin, yet somehow did, creating a perfect trifecta of rarity that turned even minor imperfections into major treasure markers. And just imagine the emotional roller coaster of the original finder, who watched a tiny, 10-cent piece transform into a million-dollar monster in front of the entire community. And as bidding escalated online, new collectors jumped into the chase, believing that maybe, just maybe, they could be the ones to uncover the next multi-million-dollar specimen tucked quietly inside a soda machine, an airport coin tray, or a handful of change from the grocery store. The legend grew even further when experts dug into mint records and discovered trace evidence of an unusual maintenance cycle in early 2015 that may have caused a series of lightly misaligned die settings, a discrepancy often too small to be caught during routine inspections, but enough to produce slight variations in pressure and die tone, creating a limited window in which a batch of these extraordinary dimes could be produced. And unlike many previous mint anomalies, these were not caught. Recalling the style of unexpected treasure finds like the fabled mule coins and experimental die tests of the past. And as this story unfolded, collectors began sharing dramatic tales of accidental discoveries. One found in a parking meter, another purchased unwittingly in a roll from a local bank, yet another appearing in an inherited coin jar, and every story added to the coin's mystique, fueling the belief that somewhere out there, more multi-million-dollar examples still lurk in the wild. And while the frenzy around this 2015 P-dime hit global news, even more whispers began circulating about another dime from the same year. Yes, the next one we'll discuss after you say next. And trust me, its origin and error pattern will blow your mind even harder, so don't go anywhere, because in just a moment we'll step into the world of the Denver Mint counterpart that took this story to a whole new level. But for now, let's keep unwrapping the secrets behind this Philadelphia marvel. As collectors dug deeper, theories emerged, some insisting the mint experimented with pressure calibrations earlier that year, others believing in used leftover dies from late 2014 were accidentally pressed into service, creating a hybrid die environment, and still others convinced an unnoticed die clash occurred before the cleaning cycle, leaving ghostly internal patterns beneath the surface that only appear under angled light, all contributing to the coin's rare identity. But no matter the theory, the result remains the same. Only a microscopic number of these extraordinary 2015 P-dimes exist, and those certified at the highest grades have repeatedly been estimated near the $15 million mark, a value that continues to shock the collecting community. And here's the best part. This means you, yes, you, could unknowingly have one sitting in your home, a tiny treasure hiding among your loose change, a potential life changer just waiting to be found. And trust me, you'll want to stay with me because as unbelievable as this coin is, the next one we're about to explore makes this story look tame by comparison. Once you hear what happened at the Denver Mint in the same year, you'll understand why people are still talking about it. So keep watching, because if you thought the 2015 P-dime was a shocker, the next coin will shake everything you know about modern minting, and the mystery behind it is so wild, collectors still argue about what truly caused its bizarre rise to fame. When you're ready, just type next, and I'll continue seamlessly with the 2015 D-Dime script.